Today, we are going to talk about a subject that touches almost every single one of us at some point in our lives. We are going to talk about dealing with toxic people. Now, when we think of toxicity, we often imagine loud explosions, screaming matches, or obvious betrayal. But the truth is, toxic people do not usually destroy you all at once. They do not knock down your house with a wrecking ball in a single afternoon. Instead, they do it slowly. They are like termites in the wood or rust on iron. They dismantle you piece by piece by making you question your own worth. They erode your confidence so gradually that you often do not realize it is happening until you feel completely empty. They will pretend to care, listening to your secrets and your fears, only to collect your weaknesses like ammunition to use against you later. It is a painful realization, but it is also a liberating one. Because once you see the game, you can stop playing it. Remember, the clever way is not to fight them. Fighting them only drags you down into the mud with them. The clever way is to become untouchable. Today, we are going to explore 7 clever, profound ways to deal with toxic people without losing your peace. These are not just tips. They are shifts in consciousness that will build an invisible shield around your spirit. 1. Stay emotionally unavailable. The first step to becoming untouchable is to stay emotionally unavailable. This might sound counterintuitive because we are taught to be open and vulnerable. But with a toxic person, your vulnerability is a weapon they will use against you. You must understand that toxic people crave reaction. That is their fuel. They are like emotional vampires who feed on your distress, your anger, and your tears. When you cry, they feel powerful. When you scream, they feel significant. If you take away your reaction, you take away their power. Imagine they are throwing a ball at a wall, expecting it to bounce back. If you become a void, the ball simply disappears. They cannot manipulate a person who does not respond. This is often called the gray rock method. You become as boring and uninteresting as a gray rock. You offer nothing for them to hook onto. Silence is not weakness. It is the ultimate form of emotional control. When they try to provoke you with a passive-aggressive comment, and you simply look at them with a neutral face and continue drinking your coffee, you are winning. You are signaling that their chaos does not have permission to enter your sanctuary. You are keeping your emotional treasures locked in a vault where they cannot reach them. This creates a boundary of energy that tells them, you can make noise, but you cannot make me move. 2. Set boundaries without explaining. This leads us beautifully into our second point. Set boundaries without explaining. This is a hard one for us, especially if we are naturally empathetic, or if we have been conditioned to be people pleasers. We feel that if we say no, we must offer a 10-minute speech explaining why, hoping they will understand and validate our decision. But here is the truth. You do not owe anyone an explanation for choosing your peace. When you explain your boundary to a toxic person, you are not clarifying your position. You are handing them the keys to dismantle it. If you say, "I cannot come because I am tired," they will argue, "You are always tired. You are selfish." If you say, "I cannot lend you money because I am saving," they will say, "You do not trust me." Boundaries are not cruelty. They are clarity. A no is a complete sentence. You must realize that explanations are ammunition. Stop handing them bullets. When you simply say, "That does not work for me," or "I am not available for this conversation," you are closing the door firmly. Once they see you no longer entertain their chaos or offer up your reasons for debate, they will eventually look for a new target. They want an easy victim, not a fortress. Remember, calm distance speaks louder than angry words. Your silence is the loudest boundary of all. 3. Observe, don't absorb. Number 3 is a mantra I want you to carry with you every single day. Observe, do not absorb. When we are in the presence of toxicity, we tend to be like sponges. We soak up their bad mood, their criticism, and their negative energy until we are heavy and dripping with sludge that is not even ours. I want you to switch your role. Instead of being a sponge, be a scientist. Be an observer in a laboratory. Watch their actions, not their apologies. Toxic people are famous for empty apologies. They will say, "I am sorry," just to end the conversation, and then do the exact same thing the next day. They repeat their patterns even after pretending to change. When you observe, you detach. You can look at their behavior and say to yourself, "That is interesting. They are trying to make me feel guilty again." That is pattern number 4. When you label it, you strip it of its emotional weight. Do not absorb their negativity. Visualize yourself surrounded by a shield of clear glass. When they spew their venom, imagine it hitting the glass and sliding right off like rain. It cannot touch you. It cannot stain you. It remains on the outside where it belongs. This creates a psychological distance that allows you to remain compassionate without becoming a casualty. 4. Detach without guilt. This brings us to the 4th and perhaps most difficult step for kind hearts. Detach without guilt. Society often tells us that loyalty means sticking by people, no matter how much they hurt us, especially if they are family or long-term friends. But detachment is not indifference. It is intelligence. It is the wisdom to know that you cannot save someone who is committed to drowning, and you certainly should not drown with them. You do not have to explain why you stopped responding to their late-night crisis texts. You do not have to feel guilty for skipping the family gathering where you know you will be belittled. Your peace must be more valuable than their attention. The guilt you feel is often a programmed response, a button they installed in you long ago. They know exactly how to press it. When you detach, you are essentially unplugging that button. You are reclaiming your energy. Think of your energy like a bank account. A toxic person makes endless withdrawals and never makes a deposit. Detaching is simply closing the account to prevent bankruptcy. It is an act of self-preservation. You are allowed to choose yourself. In fact, you must choose yourself, because if you do not, you will have nothing left to give to the people who truly deserve your love. 5. Respond intelligently, not emotionally. Number 5 is about mastering the art of conversation. Respond intelligently, not emotionally. Toxic people operate on a primitive level of emotion. They want a fight. They want drama. They want to drag you down into the mud because that is where they feel comfortable. They want you angry because that is when they feel in control. When you are angry, you are reactive. You say things you regret, and you lose your center. But when you stay calm, you expose their immaturity. Imagine they are screaming at you, their face red, their words flying like daggers. And you simply stand there, breathing deeply, maintaining eye contact, and speaking in a low, slow voice. You might say, "I can see you are very upset right now. We can discuss this when you are calm." This response is devastating to their ego. It highlights the contrast between your maturity and their childishness. It shows that you are the adult in the room. You are operating from your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic and reason, while they are operating from their amygdala, the fear and aggression center. By responding intelligently, you refuse to hand over the remote control of your emotions. You remain the captain of your own ship, no matter how hard they try to create a storm. 6. Know when to walk away. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, the only solution is distance. Number 6 is know when to walk away. There is a misconception that walking away is a sign of defeat. We think, if I leave, they win. If I quit this job, the bully wins. But this is a fallacy. Walking away does not mean they won. It means you grew wiser. It means you looked at the price tag of the relationship and realized it was costing you too much. It was costing you your mental health, your self-esteem, and your joy. Strong people do not prove their worth by enduring abuse. They protect it by removing themselves from the source of the abuse. Sometimes peace begins where your tolerance ends. You have to draw a line in the sand and say, no further. Walking away is an act of supreme courage. It is saying, I value myself enough to start over. It is a declaration that you are no longer available to be a punching bag for someone else's unresolved trauma. Whether it is ending a friendship, leaving a partner, or going no contact with a family member, walking away is often the only way to save your life. And remember, you are not walking away from a person, you are walking towards yourself. 7. Let their behavior teach you. Finally, number 7 is a perspective shift that transforms pain into wisdom. Let their behavior teach you. We often ask, why me? Why did I have to meet this person? But if you look closely, toxic people are mirrors showing you exactly who you never want to become. Watch them. Watch how they gossip and see how ugly it looks. Let that teach you to be trustworthy. Watch how they manipulate and see how dishonest it feels. Let that teach you to be authentic. Watch how they hold grudges and see how heavy a burden it is. Let that teach you to forgive and let go. Let their behavior refine you, not define you. Instead of letting their toxicity make you bitter, let it make you better. Let it make you kinder, softer, and more honest. Outsmart them by being everything they can't destroy. They can destroy your reputation with lies, but they cannot destroy your character. They can destroy your mood, but they cannot destroy your soul. Be calm, kind, and in control. This is the ultimate victory. When you look at a toxic person and feel nothing but pity for their inability to love, you have transcended. You are no longer on their level. You have evolved. Remember, you do not win by arguing. You win by evolving. The smartest people don't expose toxic ones. They simply outgrow them. They rise to a vibration where the toxic person can no longer reach them. Conclusion. So, my friends, if you have ever dealt with a toxic person, or if you are dealing with one right now, let this be your reminder. You are not helpless. You are powerful. You have the tools within you to create a sanctuary of peace that no one can breach. Protect your peace, not your image. People might talk. They might believe the lies the toxic person tells. Let them. The people who matter will see the truth of your character. The people who belong in your life will respect your boundaries. I want you to visualize yourself right now as a tall, sturdy tree. Your roots go deep into the earth, anchoring you in your own worth. The toxic people are just the wind. They might blow, they might howl, they might shake a few leaves loose, but they cannot move you. You are grounded. You are strong. You are growing towards the light. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope these 7 keys unlock a new level of freedom in your life. You deserve to be surrounded by love, respect, and kindness. Accept nothing less. If this truth hit home for you today, please tap subscribe and keep growing with mindful ways and happy aura. We are in this together, walking this path of healing and evolution side by side. Take one last deep breath with me. Inhale strength. Exhale fear. You are untouchable. I am Jenny, sending you all my love and light. Until next time, take care of your beautiful self. Goodbye for now.